And so let's look at some of these scriptures that are based in that, and we can go from there. Let's look at Ecclesiasticus chapter 11, verse 28. See if I could go down here. He says, "Judge none blessed before his death, for a man shall be known in his children." All right. So it's not talking about the fact that you could just look at your kids and look at your kids and be like, oh wow, people can look at my kids and say, hey, you so and so child, But what it's talking about is that he should be known as children. Spiritual, if you look at the scripture, is talking about that his deeds and they'll be known, all right, through his children, all right. Let's look at another scripture, Jeremiah chapter 32, verse Salakia, verse 13, verse 18. It says, "Thou showest loving kindness unto thousands, and recompense the iniquities of the fathers into the bosom of their children after them. The great, the mighty, most high, the Lord of hosts is his name." All right? Or the great, the mighty, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah is his name. All right? And so basically, that's the same principle of the fact that, that he says that he will recompense, he will show the iniquities of the father into the bosom of the children. So what the father did, the children are responsible for, because the children are their fathers. All right? The Most High made that. That's why we had, according to prophecy in scripture, we had to pay for what our forefathers did, because we were our forefathers. All right? According to scripture, we were here before. All right? So let's look at some other scriptures real quick. And a lot of you brothers, we already know a lot about the scriptures, especially we've heard these many times, but it's good to go through some of them that, that we don't go through all the time, and to be able to get a refresh, at least that I've covered it before through the Spirit. This is Job chapter 14. All right. And I believe this is Job 14, verse 14. Go down a little bit. All right. It says, "If a man die, shall he live again?" What am I here? Right here. Shlaki, "If a man die, shall he live again?" The scripture asks, "All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change come." All right. So here you see in Job, they're asking the question right there. If a man dies, shall he live again? So this is something where people say, nah, there's no such thing as reincarnation. They try to be slick with it, try to crack jokes. Yeah, you come back as a bumblebee or as a fly or something, a grasshopper. No, the scripture specifically has a topic and is asking a question. If people would be so proud and so arrogant, they would actually look at the Bible and say, well, these are real questions that the scriptures were speaking about, all right, that they were talking about. "All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change come." All right. So what is he waiting on? So all the days of my appointed time will I wait. Well, there's a scripture that says on Job chapter 17 that's a precept to that. All right. Job 17, I believe, is verse 13. All right. It says, "If I wait, the grave is mine house. I have made my bed in the darkness." All right. So that's what he's waiting for right there. All right. He says, "If I wait, the grave is mine house. I've made my bed in the darkness." So they're talking about death and coming back and waiting to die and then come back. So the scripture's speaking about that already. All right. So we do know that the scriptures talk about you know, and it goes further. There's even scriptures in Matthew, when they're speaking about, you know, John the Baptist, and when he was, I believe, he was in prison, he was speaking, and they asked him to go, you know, to speak to Yahushua. He said disciples or whatnot, so, but there's other scriptures all into this, but, you know, these are scriptures here that are used to edify, to speak about, you know, reincarnation, you know, and about the grave, and about, you know, we can go into that as far as let's get into meat and everything, brothers. But, you know, these are things to make you strong and to edify you that way. When people start asking you questions, it's a thing about faith. All right. It's a thing that either you believe or you don't believe, you know, and you know, if you can, and if you don't, hey, listen, we so far into it that, you know, it's just kind of, it is what it is. You either believe or you don't. It's the faith thing, you know. And if you do believe, then, you know, more than likely you're you're an Israelite. All right. This goes to the people that were here before. The scripture says, paraphrasing, the spirit of the prophet is subject unto the prophet. All right. So, you know, hey, listen, man, a lot of people, you know, that say that they're Israelites or whatever, now they don't believe in a lot of different things. All right. You got your Old Testament Israelites. You have your Israelites that, you know, don't believe in reincarnation, don't believe, they believe in a virgin birth. They believe in, they don't use the name of the Lord in Hebrew. There's some that just go by like black Israelites, or put that vibration out with fringes that are like black, and come out looking like, as I think Apostle Elder Gabar said, look like they belong in Conan the Barbarian. You know, they come out and they get, you know, and then they get on the news, and they get on Vice and other publications, and they start talking about, you know, using guns, and the so-called white man is the devil. Yeah, they got some aspects of it, but a lot of times, you know, they set up in some way, either that they they've been blocked, where Yahweh Shah has blocked them, where these things aren't important for them to get the truth. They don't want to go that far, or there's not in them to go that far to get the name, to get past, you know, so-called black pride and you know, things of that nature, you know. Or some of them have been sold out and they've taken that purse, you know. We know a lot of situations where, you know, some of these other people have, General Yohana or whatever, and Detective Nathaniel. These people have come out before saying one thing, and you could tell their doctrine and stuff has changed towards the end. You know, now that's up to, you know, we could tell by our spirit something ain't right, and we could also tell that the men in Great Millstone that follow under Apostle Elder Tahar on down, you know, the real men of the Lord, because we follow everything that the scripture says. All right. So with that, hope that was edifying. This is Shamak. I'll say Shalom.